In this problem, we have a number of stress level scores from about 30 employees, and we want to interpret them. This stress levels test gives a score ranging from 0 to 20, where 20 is a high stress level and 8 to 10 is considered a healthy level of stress. So the first thing we're supposed to do is calculate the mean, median, and mode and standard deviation using data analysis. So let's go click in the table there. We're going to go to data, data analysis. We're going to choose descriptive statistics, press OK. The input range is going to start at J3, and I'm going to do Shift Control down arrow to get the whole table, and that takes me to J33. It's grouped by columns. I have labels in the first row, so I need to click on that. Now the output range, I'm going to click on output range. Now I click in the box. I think I'm going to put that in B20. I'll put that over there. And I want the summary statistics. So I click on summary statistics and I press OK. And while it's still selected, I'm going to go to home. And in the number format, I'm going to get rid of those decimal points. I'm going to change it from general to number. And I'm going to make that first column wider so that we can read everything. And now let's highlight what we're looking for. We're looking for the mean. So the mean stress level is 9. I'll highlight that. So that's in the average, that's in the healthy range. The median is also 9. So it's probably not too skewed. And the mode is also 9. So that's some evidence that this is pretty symmetrical. And the standard deviation is 3.30. So there's a good variety. Not everybody's going to be in the healthy range, it looks like, which we can tell because we can see that there are some high scores like at 19 and some low scores like this 4. Okay, so we've got the descriptive statistics there. Now we need to make a histogram of the data. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make a frequency table. So I click in there, I go into design, and I'm going to summarize it with a pivot table. And it says select table 2. Yep, existing location. Where do I want it? I'm going to put it in the existing location on this cell, and I'm going to put it over, click in the location box, and I'm going to click on L3. That's where we'll put this. I click OK, and we want to put stress down in values. I can do that just by clicking there. Now it says the stress adds up to 271. We don't want the sum of the stress. I click that down arrow. I want to change the value field settings. So I click on that and I change it to count. And that turns out, click that, that's okay. So it says there's a 30 stress scores, but I want the rows to show the stress value. So I'm going to drag the stress down into rows, and it gives me some row labels there. And let's change that row label to stress level. So I'll change the column heading there to stress level. And the count of stress, I'm just going to put frequency. I could have put count there. And we see we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got all kinds of scores there. We can go from 14 to 19. There's some missing values there. So we've got to work on the groups here. So I'm going to right click on one of the data cells there, and I'm going to go to group. And so starting at 3, ending at 19, let's go from 1 to 20 and group by 2. How's that look? I do OK. And it says, aha, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got about 7 groups there. But notice how there's missing values. There's no group for 15 to 16 or 17 to 18. So let's right click on that again. And what we want to do is we want to go to field settings and show missing values. So I right clicked on some data. I'm at field settings. I click on field settings. And for I'm going to go to layout and print over here. And it says show items with no data. So I click that and I click OK. And now we've got, what was this? We've got less than 1, we've got more than 21, we've got 15, 16, 17, 18, so we've got all the categories. That less than 1 and more than 21, you can't really do that on the test. So let's click on the down arrow and filter this. So I'm going to click on the down arrow for stress level. I'm going to unclick the less than 1 because I don't need that. I'm going to unclick the greater than 21. Click OK. And there we have the range of scores in um, that we can use. Let's close the pivot table field. And now I want to make this into a histogram. So while click a cell in the table, I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Charts. I'm going to choose a bar chart, and I choose the first 2D column 1, and we have a chart here that's a bar chart, and we need to fix this up. Let's change the title. Click on the title, go into the data bar, and I'm going to call this Stress of Employees, and enter. We can get rid of this key here that doesn't give us any information. Select and delete. I'm going to turn off the field buttons and put in axis titles. So I click on field buttons, click on hide all. Now I go back to this plus sign, click on that. I can add some chart elements. I want to add axis titles. So for the y-axis, I click in that, go up to the data bar, and I'll put number of employees. I could have put frequency or just number, something like that. For the axis title here, I click on that, go to the data bar, and I'm going to type stress level there. And now I want to change from a bar chart to a histogram because this is a continuous variable. So I click on the bar, make sure they're all selected. If I double click, that gives me, that's just one bar selected. So let's unselect everything, select a bar again until it's doubles. Okay, now they're all selected. I've got the format data series. I go to the bars, and I'm going to reduce the gap width to 0. And I want to go to the paint to change the borders. Click on borders. I want a solid line. Color is black. And I'm going to make the 2 points thickness for the lines. And there we have a pretty good, and I'm going to close this. And we've got a nice histogram of the stress of the employees. And it looks like everything's labeled correctly. And now we've got 2 more questions to answer. Is the distribution positively skewed, symmetrical, or negatively skewed? And it looks pretty symmetrical. We do have this one outlier there, but there's kind of more on the other side, so it's pretty symmetrical. And that's what we expected because the mean, median, and mode were all the same. Now the final question, question 4, is if you were the employer, what do you think these scores mean? How should you respond? Well, in general, you've got people in the 9 to 10 range, which is pretty healthy, but you've got this one person that's in the 19 to 20 range, and they are really stressed. There's something that's not going right. Now, just from getting some information like this, we don't know what's causing it. Could be something at work, could be something at home. We don't know, but it'd be a good thing to check with that person and find out what's going on to see if you can help them. Now, also, we've got a few employees that are not stressed at all. Now, maybe they're just kind of relaxed, easy to get along with, go with the flow people, or they might be bored at work and they're just twiddling their thumbs. You might want to check with them to make sure they've got enough challenge going on in their work to be at their optimal productivity. So here is the presentation of the data, the stress data, in a histogram form and some ideas of what we could do with it.